Hi folks, in this video we solve a difficult formal proof. This takes some of the ideas that you've learned already and applies them in new ways to test your thinking. So why don't you pause the video here, write down the premises and conclusion, and take your time. See if you can work this out to its end before proceeding. Okay, that was your chance to figure the proof out for yourself. Hopefully you pause your videos. I'm going to talk about how I solve it now. The first thing I do, of course, is look at the main connectives. This premise is a literal, so I know I can't do anything with it yet. Premise number two, I immediately notice that this is a negation wide scope around a conjunction. That's an annoying pattern, but I know how to deal with it. We're going to have to build this thing from the inside somehow or other. But we can't do it directly, like a negation around a disjunction. We're going to have to figure out another way to do it. So then I look at my conclusion. Here I have a wide scope disjunction, and that tells me what to do. Sometimes you can just prove one of the disjuncts, like I could just prove R and then add the rest of it with disjunction intro. But in a hard proof like this, that's not possible. I have to do a reductio. But I'm never afraid of doing a reductio of a disjunction, because if you do a reductio, here's what the proof sketch would look like. You get a negation wide scope around a disjunction, and that's great because we know the 5-step plan will help us solve that. So here my premise is up here, the negation around the conjunction. My conclusion ultimately I want down here, and I know how this subproof is going to end. I'm going to have to get a contradiction finally down here. That's going to give me my conclusion by negation intro. How do I get that contradiction? It's almost always going to come by, again, building this from the inside. So working backwards, I already have a plan. I'm going to have to do that. But now that I have a negation around a disjunction, I'll start working that out to see how my ultimate plan will come to conclusion. So what do I do for the 5-step plan? I just pick a disjunct, like pick not Q. I build the disjunction, the not Q or R. I add the or R part onto it. What is that? That's a contradiction. Not with my premise number 2 or 1. That's a contradiction with this thing that I'm building. The 5-step plan is always about the negation and the disjunction. So that's a contradiction with 3 and 5. Now that I've done that, how do you end that thing? Always remember the last step of the 5-step plan is negation intro. It's a reductio of this not Q line, so I get Q on line 7. Okay, if you didn't get this far, then pause your videos now and see if you can figure out the rest of the proof on your own. Otherwise, we'll just keep solving it. So there's your last chance to actually do some independent thinking. If I did the 5-step plan on the first one, the next thing to do is the 5-step plan on the next one. I need to pick R and put that in a subproof. Again, I build the exact same disjunction. Now I add the or Q, the not Q part to it. That's a contradiction. Again, a contradiction between what? Between line 9 and line 3 now. And that gives me not R. Now, at this point in the proof, I've done the 5-step plan. This is when you have to remind yourself what you know. I've got the Q here. I've got not R here. And how am I going to get a contradiction with this thing? I'm going to have to start building this. And that forces us to remember the original premise, not P. So I'm going to build this from the inside. I'll start with the not P and not R part. Now I can just add the Q part. And look what I've done. I've got some whole sentence, this thing here, and that sentence with a negation symbol in front of it. That's all I need to introduce the contradiction symbol. So that finishes our reductio, and now we are finally done. Okay, thanks.